was reading The Atlantic at work, so I really didn't want to do work today. It's a new column called like My Material World or something, and it was kind of talking about like material possessions. The article was about, I don't know how to pronounce it. If it's like Palatine.
Palatine? I don't know.
No,
Okay,
you're
well,
mixing it up with Palantir, which is completely
oh,
different.
Oh, wait, then what are we talking about? What are you talking about?
Peloton. It's like a bike company.
Oh, Peloton. That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I thought it would be interesting to talk about like the different like status symbols in like the different places we've lived. So like the Bay Area, LA, DC, and Boston, and then kind of if there are any like status symbols like in general. For example, I was reading a article a while ago, I forget where, and it was saying that water bottles were seen as a status symbol because like Swell had a collaboration with Swarovski.
Oh, the diamond?
Like the crystal company.
The crystals,
It was like a $1,000 water bottle or something like that. And like Swell water bottles were super popular for a bit too. And like, did you ever carry around, or I used to carry around a Voss water bottle, or it wasn't even a water bottle. It was like a Voss like empty container as my water bottle. And then one day I dropped it and it broke.
Oh no, I was never bougie enough for one of them. Where do you even find those?
Piazza's has like a bunch of like, it has like a water aisle full of like fancy water.
Damn.
One time I paid $4 for black water.
What does it taste like? I've always been curious.
Literally just water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry. To like validate myself, this was when I was on Tumblr a lot, and I was like, oh my god, I can drink it and take a picture of it. I guess that doesn't really validate myself.
Like, I was thinking about DC, and I couldn't really think about anything, because most of the time people are all in, like, just, like, business dress. Guys all wear, like, button-ups and slack, and then women all wear just, like, pencil skirt. Like, it's just, like, basically like Ann Taylor, but for the entire city. I think with LA, I've seen a lot more, like, material wealth. With DC, it's more, like, about, like, power than wealth, if that makes sense.
Ooh.
I just feel like people don't really want how much money they have. Like, even if they're, like, super powerful, they're not, like, they can't compete with, like, the highest-ranking, like, actress or, like, a Silicon Valley, like, mogul, you know?
Yeah, I guess if you were to, like, categorize, like, what matters in, like, each of those places, I think LA is, like, who you know. Yeah, like, fame. Bay Area, like, your connections to the tech industry, I guess.
Yeah.
And, like, the tech industry in
brains.
Stanford. Yeah.
Or, like, brains and innovation.
DC, politics. Boston. Harvard?
Like,
I don't know. Also, I guess, kind of, like, a little bit, like, your family history, because Boston has, like, you know, history.
I think, like, in the East Coast, at least, like, for my very limited amount of time there's a lot of, like, old money that I, like, you know, I knew existed, but it was, like, very foreign just coming, because, like, everyone in the Silicon Valley is, like, pretty new money, you know? Like, they're all, like, from the tech industry. I'm definitely, like, generalizing, but I just think,
like, there's old money, like, not as old as, like, the East Coast.
East Coast, yeah.
But there are people who've been, like, living there, like, their great-grandparents, like, lived in Palo Alto and stuff. But I guess...
Yeah, but I think they're, like, rich enough to stay in Palo Alto, but not just, like, really, really, like, I was gonna say big money. And I think, like, money, but also just, like, the connections that it gives. If you say a certain, like, last name, they'll be like, oh, like, they're, like, a New York, like, if you do a lot of, like, philanthropy, I guess, or...
Rich person.
Yeah. Another thing, I guess, it's, like, being super busy. I don't know if that, like, really counts, but I'm always just, if you're, like, rushing between, like, events, like, if you're, like, I have 3 dinners to go to, as a professional, then that just shows, like, how many connections you have and people who want to invite you to things, or, like, just, like, constantly, like, having to have a lot of people call you, but that's just, like, popularity. People definitely have a reaction. I normally say I'm from the Bay Area, and then people always, like, ask, like, which part of the Bay Area? Like, whenever I say, like, Palo Alto, there's always, like, a connotation. Like, people are like, oh, Palo Alto.
It doesn't happen to me because there aren't as many people that...
familiar with.
Yeah, like, I have this, like, I say California, and then I say, like, 45 minutes south of San Francisco, or I just say, like, Stanford, but then I feel like I'm, like, coming off as kind of, like, I don't know, like, weird when I'm like, oh, like, do you know where Stanford is? That's where I live.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that
makes
sense.
That's
the most accurate way to, like, say it, basically, if you don't know where Palo Alto is.
I think you sent me a picture of, like, your messages to someone, and it was, like, you said Silicon Valley, and I was like, huh, like, I always say Bay Area, and then you said, like, if it's, like, they're in tech, you say Silicon Valley. Is there, like, really a difference? Like, I just know it's kind of just, like, general, like, a broad bubble around this area. Like, I guess maybe Silicon Valley is more concentrated in, like, San Jose, Cupertino area.
Yeah,
I
think Silicon Valley would be, like, Palo Alto, Mountain View, Redwood City, San Jose, and then San Francisco, and then Bay Area is, like, Marin, Oakland, Alameda, Berkeley. I don't know. Is Carmel Bay Area?
It's kind of maybe a little too south. Like, Monterey? I don't know. I guess Gilroy might be. Because Gilroy's right next to San Jose, and San Jose is Bay Area, so I don't know. I think it's just kind of like this blob that you're like, okay, that's the Bay Area.
I feel like there are a lot of...
Because all the places I've lived have been, like, relatively affluent, sometimes I'm, like, not even, like, really aware of these like status symbols because it's like everywhere. Like how like in Silicon Valley, so many people's parents have like Teslas, and like Lululemon. Like I feel like it's so popular. Like most people have one that like it's not really seen as like a status symbol. But if you go like anywhere else, it's like you're paying $90 for a pair of leggings. Like at USC, I was thinking about it. It's like you know those Goyard? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Those bags. Everyone has them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I didn't think that was such a like big thing, but that was something I definitely noticed coming here. And there's also like the whole other like there's like rich, and then there's like international kids level of rich where it's just like decked out like head to toe designer. Just interesting. I'm not really the type to like really go after brand names or like a hype beast. So like I don't generally like to wear like really flashy brands. So when I do see them, I'm always just like, like that's the thing. I think it really kind of comes down to how flashy people are with it. I think like New York and LA are definitely, I think, where it's like most obvious. But like I think other places, if you're wealthy, it's just like you buy like really good quality stuff. Like you don't really go for like the big like logos or brand names.
Also, I think in Palo Alto, Patagonias are huge. People have like so many different Patagonias, and like California is not cold enough where you need more than one Patagonia. Like you probably don't even need one. But I feel like this morning I woke up with toothpaste in my hair, and it's still kind of there, but like not at the bottom. Like there's toothpaste like here. So
at least your hair is minty fresh.
I don't know how that happened, but
there was an article I read, I don't know when it was published, but it was like I think it was talking about like how Patagonia vests are kind of like a Silicon Valley status symbol, especially in the tech industry, because a lot of like tech companies, for their like company gear, they'll hire like Patagonia. It's like a whole like tech bro thing. I'm not sure why, but I think like Patagonia is starting to like become more selective with which companies it's allowing itself to like partner with to create like company gear. I don't know if it's because of like environmental purposes or because they don't want their brands like associated with different things, but I thought that was interesting. I don't know, I think like the Silicon Valley is like strange because there's so many like uber rich people, but they don't like dress that way, if that makes sense. Like Steve Jobs, black turtleneck jeans, Mark Zuckerberg, t-shirt and jeans, like the same gray thing, like t-shirt. And I feel like wealth is displayed in like other ways, but there's also this like whole pressure to be like low-key wealthy, you know? People don't really put in that much like effort into dressing in a way that makes them seem wealthy, but then I think maybe it's displayed in like cars and real estate and stuff like that.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't dress well because he's a lizard. So
did you see the wax figure of him?
Yeah.
That like looks more, it looks like that kind of freaked me out. Like it looks so much more human than he does.
Anyways, that's why Zuck dresses like that. But yeah, I was gonna say people are definitely really low-key about how much wealth they have. I think it's definitely shown in like their houses, but also like some people live in like nice houses, but you wouldn't guess that they're like over like 2 million or whatever unless you like know Palo Alto and like know like how much it costs to live there and stuff like that. And I think it also shows in how much a lot of people have traveled. It's not even that they're staying in like the Ritz-Carlton or whatever, like some people do, but just like the amount of international travel to like Europe or Asia that some people do is just like reflective of what income bracket they're in, especially if they're in like a family that has more than one kid and like the whole family goes. That's a massive amount of money. Just like the airfare anywhere basically. But I also think that people are really good about like being humble about it. Oh, also people who ride horses.
I was gonna say
that's expensive.
I literally today as I was like doing work, I just like have a note thing and I just write like a list, and on under Silicon Valley I have Tesla, company gear, Patagonia vest, horse, second home, and Apple Watch. Not even horses, just a singular horse.
Riding itself is expensive, as you know, a former horse girl.
Oh.
And I didn't even like travel or like own a horse, and it was still like an expensive thing to do. Also, speaking of horse girls, do you remember that time we went to a party in high school and there was a trampoline?
Oh yeah. Dude, that was like, sometimes I think about that night and I was like, that night was so strange that like, I don't even know if it was real. I remember we were like stuck at the top of the mountain with no service, right?
Yeah,
and then we had to
car that I didn't think was gonna make it, and the windows kept fogging up and I couldn't see, and I was like, we're gonna die.
And we had to like the windows all the way down, and we were all in like party gear, so we were all like shivering as we were like chugging down the hill.
Oh my god.
And it was all just like, it was like more of a kickback too. It was like there were like what 20 people, and we were like, hello.
Oh
we
my
know
god.
2 of you.
You know what? It was a Castellea party, and I remember talking to this Castellea girl, and I was like, wow, crazy bumping into you here.
I remember seeing people with Canada Goose stuff in Palo Alto.
In Palo Alto?
Yeah, I think I've seen like a few students. You know those like 2 days in the year when the mornings would be like 45 degrees?
Yeah.
Like I've seen people that's like very extra.
Oh, I feel like people having houses in Tahoe. Like a lot of people have houses or
Yeah.
cabins in Tahoe, which is also like not a cheap place to just have a house that you like don't do anything with. Also,
Yeah.
I don't know how true this is, but I think people whose families stay in Palo Alto after like all of their kids have graduated because like it's
Mhm.
so expensive to live in Palo Alto, and also people whose families keep their kids rooms like be exactly the same and like don't do anything with it like while they're in college because like that space could be converted to like an office or like be rented out or something, so like that's also money that you're choosing not to take.
Also because like if they're off to college, like most likely they will not be moving back long term. My room is now officially my mom's workout room. So I went back and there was like a big ass treadmill in the middle. And I was like, great, thanks. But my mom is definitely moving. She was like talking about to one of her friends, and I think they're both thinking about like buying a house in like Texas or something for like a fifth of the money, but like 3 times the size. That'd be a nice humid place to live. You know, a lot of people move to Palo Alto for like the public schools, but if you live in Palo Alto and send your kids to a private school, that's like a whole other level because it's like something expensive in itself,
Yeah.
and then you're like investing even more in that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because if you go to a private school, there's really no need to live in Palo Alto.
Mm.
Oh, juice! We didn't talk about juice.
Oh yeah.
Juice is so like weirdly expensive.
Yeah, when people actually like go on juice diets with like juice that say like they don't make themselves, that's like what, like how many juices do you drink a day?
3.
I mean, each juice is what, $6? I mean, $18 is like, of course, like for a day of food isn't bad. But it's
Food!
even just juice. Yeah, exactly. We have like the USC Village, which is like a plaza with a bunch of restaurants and stuff, and like also dorms. And there's like a smoothie slash juice shop, and a lot of people get like a smoothie for breakfast every day, and they're like a good like $12 for like blended fruits. Also, just like acai bowls.
I was gonna say acai bowls, which are like not actually that hard to make.
I think the ultimate thing is like if you go to like a Soul Cycle or Core Power class, you drop like $25 on that, and then you go get an acai bowl for another like $50. It's like a $30 like morning.
I think you did your math wrong, but sure.
25. Oh, fuck.
Dude, I feel like people spend so much money on exercise things or like wellness
guilty.
things.
Definitely like gym. Yeah, I think a lot of the things where it's like self-care slash self-betterment, like these are all like things that you necessarily like don't really need in your life, and then people are always just like, oh, like take the time to do this or buy this, and then it's like, oh, we like don't think about the fact that only like a very specific few can do it, and not like partaking in this like whole like self-care revolution. Doesn't mean that like people don't want to be better. It's just that like maybe they don't have the means to. Kind of goes back to the whole like juice diet thing.
Yeah.
A lot of diets are expensive.
Diet pills are very expensive. Yeah, I feel like the wellness industry just makes a massive amount of money off of people's insecurities.
Oh, also braces. Like dentistry,
shit, yeah.
like oral, like surgery and like orthodontist stuff. Like don't technically need straight teeth, but
I feel like everyone in Palo
like,
Alto has braces. Shoot, I forget what her name is, but I feel like everyone goes there. She's like in downtown Palo Alto.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I didn't go to her.
Okay, well I know like everyone went to her, and like when I was getting braces, they like asked her like about how much it would be, and she was like 15,000. And I remember my parents were like, oh, like that is too much. So like we ended up going to like a place in like San Jose or Cupertino or something, and I think it was significantly cheaper. It was like, I don't know, 7,000 or 8,000. But at the time, I remember being upset because I was like, everyone goes there. Like, why can't we just like pay the money and like go there? That was like very like bratty of me to be like, why can't I get braces from the same place all my friends get their braces from? Because first of all, like braces is not a required thing. Although in my case, I kind of did need them because I had to get 4 teeth pulled. So like I just had too many teeth for my mouth.
Was your mouth too small? My mouth is like too small to fit my teeth.
Yeah. Every time I go to the dentist, they're always like, wow, your mouth is so small. And I'm like,
yes,
cool.
I just realized, especially now that I'm like talking more about like medical stuff and insurance with my parents, all of my doctor, dentist, like everything, they're all in like San Jose, Milpitas, like where it's like slightly cheaper than Palo Alto. My teeth aren't like perfectly straight, and I was supposed to have a second phase to like get it like once my teeth were more like secure in their positions. But I like decided to forego that because I'm like, I'm fine with my teeth now, and that's just like extra hassle, and also I don't want braces in college. And also it's like funny how it's kind of like an American thing. Like a lot of people in other countries, like straight teeth isn't that big of a deal, especially like say like Japan. It's like crooked teeth is like a cute thing.
Wow, I feel like every other episode is just us being like, wow, we're just insanely privileged.
Yeah, I don't like it when people like they don't admit to, like, of course I don't like flaunting it isn't great either. When people don't acknowledge it, that also like annoys me. So I feel like the only way I can kind of like reconcile with it is if it's like I use this, like my privilege, like many senses of the word, to like give back, or like the power that I have to like do good in the world, but also like don't want to have like that whole like savior complex. So I don't know. I think about it a lot, just like the fact that I don't necessarily like need to work in order to get through school with like minimal loans or anything.